Salvete Omnes, this is Emilia, also known as TheMartianGeek, and welcome back to another episode of Mega Man 2. In the last episode, we took on the two most annoying robot masters of this bunch, Woodman and Quickman. And probably a lot of people will say I should have done Quickman first, because he is the nastier of the two, but my reasoning was that Quickman's stage is actually pretty short, so if I game over to him, I can get back there relatively, well, quickly. Whereas if I die to Woodman, it takes me a while to get back to the boss room. Though neither of their stages were all that bad compared to the boss battles, so whatever. The point is, let's move on to our next pair of Robot Masters, and we'll start with Bubble Man. And I keep thinking that you're supposed to press A to go into the stage when it's actually start. Really, it could be either or both. And I think I'm actually out of extra lives again, so yeah. At least it's easy to suicide in this stage. Down the bottomless pit. At least it's not like Mega Mario where you lose all your E-tanks if you die, or game over, I mean. So Bubble Man's stage is actually likely to get you hit by frogs. Actually, probably one of the better ones, and nicer looking. See that waterfall? I guess that's kinda pretty. Yes, we do have frogs. I think there's another one over here, right? Yep. And I have gotten hit by every single one of those frogs so far. These platforms will fall if you stand on them. I think that's the only part in the stage where they show up. And now we drop on top of a crab and get hit by the same one twice. Wow, I am just doing great at this stage so far. Well, anyway, out of the waterfall into an underwater section. And wow, Mega Man went off the top of the screen quite a bit there. Yes, naturally, this is the underwater stage of Mega Man 2. Most Mega Man games do have one. And I think that's actually the first checkpoint of the stage. Maybe not. Shrimp. Shrimp! And they have rather an awkward movement pattern, and one of them apparently scrolled off the bottom of the screen. Good, I don't have to deal with it. This is this stage's sub-boss of sorts. And hey, thanks for dropping the energy. I guess that's the nice thing, the good part about respawning enemies. The bad part about respawning enemies is that they're respawning enemies. You want to aim at his little lure at the top there. Seriously, these guys are like sideways bloopers. And this guy is taking way too many shots to destroy. But hey, I'm still pretty high on health, and notice the death spikes. That's pretty much standard fare in any underwater stage in a Mega Man game, or even a stage that has underwater-like physics. The ceiling will be lined with death spikes, so that if you jump too high, you just kill yourself. Also, jellyfish. Robotic jellyfish that have a name that nobody can ever remember because it's just a series of numbers and letters. Point is, be careful if you're jumping. And now the death spikes are even on the sides. That jellyfish is in an awkward location. You, die. Thank you. And great, more shrimp. And this time we have to stand a little closer to this guy because, well, death spikes. You know something I'm not sure about? If you throw an enemy like this off screen that has a lot of hit points... Well, actually, like, does this HP... Oh, wow, that one went down a lot more quickly. Does his HP total reset? 2? I guess I would assume so, but... Also, the frogs are affected by the underwater physics as well, so... Almost looks kinda comical, really. Alright, back to full health. Not that... Generally, this isn't one of those stages where dying from losing all your HP is what's gonna happen to you. This is one of those where you tend to get insta-killed. And now we're out of the underwater section and back up to the waterfall. And here you want to be aware of these falling crab enemies, and wow, that was close. I don't know if they're just completely randomly generated as far as their positions, but do not jump across any gaps until the crab has already fallen. Unless you wish to die. But I think that's the last of them, and now it's time for the boss. Bubble Man is one of those bosses who really should be easier than he is, and I think he actually does not take extra damage from the Buster, so this could go poorly. And there's also the fact that, like every boss in difficult mode, he's more aggressive. You basically want to stand in between his bubbles, and you aren't supposed to stop short like that. I said stand in between his bubbles, not get hit by his bubbles. Also, he keeps firing these stupid buster shots at me that I suck at dodging. How was I supposed to get around that? Oh, okay, no, that one was just my fault. Okay. Today we learned that Amelia sucks at fighting Mega Man 2 bosses. Ah, he only had 3 hits left. But it was my first try and I still have 1 extra life left. See, I'm not sure how you get him to stop doing the buster shots. Also, is it just me or do those look unpleasantly like sperm? Okay, did I just phase through that bubble? Or did I still have invincibility frames? Okay, careful positioning and... personal space! Okay, that was dumb. At least Bubble Man's not invincible most of the time like Woodman is. And he's a heck of a lot more predictable than Quickman. One more. Come on. And yes, his boss room is lined with death spikes on the ceiling as well. Jolly! But anyway, we defeated him. And dramatic pause or something. B. Get equipped with Bubble Lead, or Bubble Lead. I think the Japanese version actually said Baburo Rido, or something like that, rather than Redo. So I think it is technically supposed to be Bubble Lead, but it's Capcom, and I don't understand why they didn't just translate it into Japanese. I mean, whether you're spelling it in English or Japanese, is any Japanese person actually more likely to know what the heck a Baburu is? Surely there's a Japanese word for bubble, right? But anyway, PBAQHW12. Press A hyphen button. And we're back to the stage select with 5 bosses down just the lower row to go. So next up is Metal Man. Well known for having probably the most powerful weapon in the entire series. But of course, I'm pretty much going Buster only, so Metal Man's stage is a factory of sorts, and where there's a factory in a video game, there are conveyor belts. Also, E-Tank that's surprisingly easy to get. I think that was my... wait, that was my first one? No, it wasn't. I got one in Quickman's stage. Okay, so maybe your E-Tanks do reset or something. Also, these things are annoying. I guess they're like Mega Man's equivalent of thwomps or something like that. And they also cause sprite flicker like heck, and take like 6 units of health if they hit you. Also, I realized last episode that I have been completely forgetting to demo the special weapons. So let's start doing that right now, maybe, because this is actually a really good spot to do it, because we have more respawning enemies here, and there are a lot of them. These are called moles, and they're basically randomly generated drills that love to get in your way like crazy, so if I can see if I can farm a little more health off them. Maybe not, just weapon energy. Take a hint that I'm not actually using any weapon energy game. The point is, let's actually see what our special weapons can do. There's Heatman's weapon, the Atomic Fire. Shoots little fireballs at things that are kind of weak, but you can actually charge it up. And shoot bigger fireballs that take more ammo to use. And if you wait long enough, you can charge it up all the way, and... big fireball. But it takes a crap load of ammo. Not terribly useful for that reason, because the Atomic Fire base shots are really weak, And anything beyond that just takes too much weapon energy to be worth ever really using. Now there's Airman's weapon, the air shooter. Gives you a series of 3 tornadoes. That's not terrible, it only costs 2 units of weapon energy. Wow, these guys are just not cooperating with the drops. And then there's Woodman's weapon, the leaf shield, and let's try standing right here. It's kind of an annoying sound effect, but the leaf shield protects you from at least most things, as long as you're standing still, with the shield of leaves. You didn't think it was called the leaf shield for nothing. The problem with the leaf shield is, while you can jump, as soon as you press a button on the D-pad, Mega Man launches the shield off. So it's really pretty situational in its uses, for that reason. But then again, shield weapons never really are that useful in most Mega Man games. It took them until Mega Man 7 to actually invent one that was actually decent. And apparently we can't really test Bubble Man's weapon here because it does absolutely nothing to these enemies. But the Bubble Lead gives you a bubble that goes along floors. Actually has quite a bit of ammo too, it only takes half a unit of weapon energy to shoot one. Let's see if Quick Man's weapon does anything more interesting. Quick Boomerang shoots a boomerang, and hey, it does work on these guys. This is basically your rapid fire weapon, and it has lots of ammo. I believe it only takes 1/8 of 1 unit to fire one of these things. Of course, as you can imagine from that, it's pretty weak. And I guess there are a few bosses and stuff that it's decent against. And item 1, I guess we've already seen. It's not a special weapon, but it makes a little platform for you. I don't think there is actually an equivalent to the item 1 in any other Mega Man game except 4, which had the balloon adapter. Then item 2 gives... Actually, you know what? Dang. I forgot I needed item 2 later in this stage, or didn't technically need it, but you can use it to get some stuff later in the stage. Item 2 is basically your Rush Jet for this game. It was Rush Jet before Rush was a thing. And we will see more of that later. Also, this game came out before the energy balancer was a thing, so... Picking up weapon energy when you're on the Mega Buster does absolutely nothing. The Mega Buster actually didn't come along until Mega Man 6. But it's pretty much been a staple of every game after that. Also, nobody really likes fighting those drill enemies, at least I don't think so. So, fortunately, I think that was the only place... Well, okay, that was the only place in this stage we'll see them. They do show up in a Wily stage later. And, speaking of items, you can use either item 1 or 2, 3 won't work, to get this one up here. How many extra lives do I have now? Wow, 4, alright. That's good. Mega Man's stage is probably kind of mid-range in difficulty, I'd say. Same goes for Bubble Man's, actually. Coming down here, I believe we've hit a checkpoint. We have these little clown-on-gear enemies, and they will happily respawn, so be careful of that. You want to shoot the gear, because then that'll make the clown drop down like that, and I think this might be where we want the item 2. No it's not. I'm thinking of the later part of the stage, and it cost me some HP. Okay, so maybe I don't have these stages memorized as well as I should. It's actually been a while since I've played this game. Yeah, you can see there, if you shoot the clown on top of the gear just keeps rolling. And here is the enemy that messes with my muscle memory the most of any on difficult mode. On normal mode, it dies as soon as you shoot it, whereas on difficult, it flings its body parts at you like that, and I can never quite figure out where they're gonna land, so I pretty much always end up taking hits from these guys. But not that time, apparently. Also, there's an E-Tank down there? I always thought that was just a 1-up. 2 E-Tanks in Metal Man stage. I did not know this guy had 2 E-Tanks in his stage. So much the better. And now we do want to use item 2 to get across here. So yeah, you can see it's basically just a little jet sled kind of thing. And dang, I was hoping that guy would scroll off screen. But it doesn't matter, because we're on to the boss. Metal Man himself, with about half my health. Well, this guy's not nearly as annoying as Woodman or Quickman, and he's not as likely to get hits on me as Bubble Man is. he actually doesn't react to anything you do. Or he doesn't react until you do something, either shooting or jumping, and then he'll start throwing metal blades at you. He'll either make a low jump and shoot 1, a medium jump and shoot 2, or a high jump and shoot 3. And if you get too close to him, he'll jump over to the other side of the room. Also, whenever you see the screen flash like that, he changes the direction of the conveyor belt. It's honestly also, I think he does actually sometimes fire blades at you without being provoked on difficult mode, as you saw there. Honestly, if you're the patient sort, you might want to wait to shoot at him until the conveyor belt is going left. It's probably safer that way. But anyway, Metal Man is down. He's really not a hard boss at all. Also, if you're feeling, I don't know what adjective I was looking for there, but another way you can fight that guy is to walk over to him and make him jump over you, in which case he'll not do the multi-chucking metal blades and just throw 1, like, kind of diagonally down. But that doesn't work as well when there's a conveyor belt on the floor. So, that is my preferred strategy during the boss rematches, where he doesn't have the conveyor belt, but the point is, Mega Man turns kind of an ugly shade of brown, and we get the metal blade. And this thing, well, I'll have to show that in the next episode, but along with something that I can actually use Bubble Lead on. But we have our password, PBAQHWM12, and A3B1B2B4 C1 D3 D5 E4 E5. And then back to the stage select. So that's 6 of 8 bosses down. So we're making some pretty decent progress, I'd say. We'll deal with the last 2 in the next episode.